This is Jonathan Cahn. Welcome to my YouTube channel. When you look at what's happening in the world, it's easy to wonder what's going on, and are things out of control? Is this what the Bible foretold? Is the end near? What do I need to know about the future? Where's it all going? How can I be prepared? What is God's prophetic word for the hour and for me? On this channel, you're going to find prophetic updates, the mysteries of God, daily words for life, biblical revelation, prophetic teachings, and much more. I pray it's going to be a great blessing to you in the days ahead. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time there's a new video that's posted. Leave a comment as to how God is blessing you. And don't forget to share these videos with friends who need to hear them. Thanks again, and God bless you. Shalom.
Beloved of God, we are living in days that are not ordinary. You are here not by chance, not by habit, not by religion, but by divine calling. There is a voice speaking, not from the media, not from the crowd, not even from the pulpit, but from heaven. And this voice is not speaking to the world, it is speaking to the chosen. Today, June 11th, 2025, is not just a day, it is a message, a summons, a calling. And if you are listening, it is for you. God is not looking for the masses. He never has. He is looking for the remnant, the few, the faithful, the ones set apart for this hour. This message is not for the comfortable. It is not for the lukewarm. It is not for the lukewarm. It is for the ones whose hearts burn for truth, for those who cannot bow to Baal, who refuse to blend in with Babylon. For those who ask not what is popular, but what is holy. In the days of Noah, he built an ark when there was no rain. He looked mad to the world, but he was chosen for that hour. And when the flood came, his obedience became salvation. In the time of Esther, she was placed in a pagan palace, not by chance, but to stand when it mattered. Her words changed a nation, but only because she risked everything. A young woman in China smuggled Bibles into villages for years, unseen by the world. She was arrested, imprisoned, tortured. Today, those same villages host underground churches with thousands of believers. Her faith became fire. God uses the hidden, the humble, the willing. Hut out the noise. Turn down the world to hear the whisper of God. Guard your time. Prioritize prayer and the word over distraction. Say no to compromise. Even the smallest concessions can derail your destiny. Surround yourself with fire. Find people who burn for truth. Iron sharpens iron. Step out in faith. Don't wait until you feel ready. Move in obedience. Speak truth boldly. The world is bold in deception. You must be bold in light. Before the stars were flung into the sky, before oceans were poured into their basins, before light touched the void, there was a purpose, there was a plan, and in that plan, you were there. Of man, by the logic of events or by the randomness of chance, you were chosen, appointed, set apart. From the foundations of the earth, your name was written, not on paper, but in the mind of the eternal. You are not an afterthought. You are not insignificant. You are a thread in the tapestry of redemption, a vessel prepared for such a time as this. When the word says, "You did not choose me, but I chose you," it is not poetry, it is declaration. The God of the universe hand-picked you, not only to be saved, but to live a life that reflects His glory in the midst of a generation that has forgotten Him. He did not call you to blend in. He did not anoint you to be silent. He called you to carry light into darkness, to walk as a sign and a wonder, to shine when others fall, to speak when others are silent, and to stand when the world bows. This chosenness is not about comfort. It's not about being admired. It's about being set apart. Chosen people do not walk an easy path. They walk a narrow one. And that narrow path will sometimes lead you through valleys others avoid. It will make you wrestle with truth, fight through weariness, stand against compromise. But that is the path of the called, of the chosen, of those whose assignment is too holy to be delayed by comfort. And yet, this hour we live in is more than just a time of calling. It is a time of separation. There is a dividing line moving through the earth. The world is not just changing, it is being sifted. And that sifting is happening in the house of God. It is happening among those who name His name. There are many who wear the label of believer but lack the life of obedience. Many who sing the songs but ignore the summons. Many who claim the crown but refuse the cross. God is drawing a line, not for condemnation, but for consecration. He is not just saving people, He is separating them. Not everyone who says, Lord, Lord, will enter in. Not everyone who holds a Bible knows the God who breathed it. There is a counterfeit spirit, a shadow gospel, a lukewarm culture that has invaded what was once sacred. And now the Lord is calling His chosen out of the gray, out of mixture, out of the shallow waters and into the deep. You cannot be both set apart and blended in. You cannot walk with the world and expect the fire of heaven. The voice of compromise always whispers, just a little silence, just a little conformity, just a little delay. But every inch conceded is a mile lost. Every time you silence your convictions to stay comfortable, the enemy celebrates. This is the hour to separate, to break with Babylon, to cut ties with the spirit of this age, to say, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord, not halfway, not hidden, not in the shadows, but fully, visibly, boldly. You were not chosen to retreat. You were chosen to rise, to declare, to burn with truth even when it costs you everything. The days of shallow faith are over. The days of casual Christianity are done. You were chosen for war, not ease, for fire, not fog, for holiness, not popularity. There is no revival without repentance, no awakening without confrontation, no glory without separation. And that separation begins in the heart. It begins with saying no to what is unclean, what is false, what is compromised, and yes to the high calling of a life fully surrendered. The enemy will offer you options: watered down faith, silent obedience, hidden light. But the King offers you something higher: a cross, a crown, and a cause. And while the world presses in with pressure to conform, the Spirit whispers a different call: come out from among them and be separate. If you are chosen, you will feel the weight of the difference. You will never quite fit in. You will never be at home in the noise, because your home is elsewhere. Your calling is higher, your destiny. And the separation you feel is not rejection, it is confirmation. You were never meant to walk with the crowd. You were meant to lead it by walking a different way. The line is being drawn. The trumpet is sounding. The time is now. God is not looking for many. He is looking for the few, the pure, the separated, the chosen. There is a lie the enemy whispers to the chosen: not now. He won't deny your calling, but he will delay your obedience. He'll convince you to wait. Wait until you feel stronger. Wait until you're more prepared. Wait for a sign, for a confirmation, for a more convenient time. But heaven is not calling you to wait. Heaven is calling you to move. The call is not future, it is present. The moment is now. God does not need you to be ready. He needs you to be willing. Every delay in obedience weakens the flame. Every postponed step gives ground to the enemy. You were not chosen to hesitate. You were not anointed to sit still. There is a reason the Spirit descended as fire, because fire doesn't wait. It moves. It spreads. It consumes. And it ignites others in its path. Your assignment is not something distant. It's not on the horizon. It's at your feet. It's where you are. There is something right now in your hand, your voice, your life that God is calling you to use. The lost are not waiting. The hurting are not waiting. The broken systems of this world are not pausing. Why should you? There will never be a perfect time to do the will of God. The world will always be chaotic. There will always be opposition. But that is exactly why the chosen must rise. The darkness does not delay its advance. It moves boldly, openly, shamelessly. And yet many who carry the light do so in secret, in fear, in hesitation. That must end. You do not need the approval of man to fulfill a divine commission. You do not need validation from the crowd to obey the voice of the Spirit. When Noah built the ark, there was no applause. When Jeremiah wept over a nation that refused to repent, there was no platform. When the Messiah himself stepped into ministry, it began not with praise, but with a desert. And yet they all moved in the fullness of their time. You were not chosen for tomorrow. You were chosen for this moment. For such a time as this, the earth groans, the nations shake, the hour is late, and heaven is not looking for spectators. It is calling for laborers, warriors, vessels of fire. Every time you say yes, something shifts in the Spirit. Every act of obedience, no matter how small, breaks chains. Your steps may seem unnoticed by man, but they shake foundations in unseen realms. You are not walking alone. The moment your feet move in obedience, the hosts of heaven go before you. And yet the walk is not easy. The path of the chosen is narrow. It is lonely. It costs you everything. You may be mocked. You may be forgotten. You may stand when others fall away. But none of it is in vain, because there is a reward for the faithful, a promise for the remnant, a glory prepared for those who overcome. God has never measured success by numbers or fame. He measures it by faithfulness. You may feel like your obedience is hidden, buried, forgotten, but the King sees every step, every tear, every time you chose truth when it hurt, every time you held your tongue, every time you stood when it would have been easier to sit. He saw it all. There is a crown laid up, not for the famous, but for the faithful, the ones who refused to bow, the ones who kept the oil burning in their lamps, the ones who carried the cross when others dropped it. To the world you may look small, but in the courts of heaven your name is honored. And one day you will hear the only words that matter. Well done, my good and faithful servant. There is a reward not only in eternity, but now. Peace that surpasses understanding, strength that defies your circumstances, joy that the world cannot take, authority in the Spirit, intimacy with the Father. That is the inheritance of the chosen. The path may be steep, but it leads to glory. The road may be rough, but it ends in fire. You were not chosen to survive, you were chosen to overcome. The enemy would not fight you so hard if you were not dangerous. Hell fears the moment you realize who you are and what you carry, because when you do, you become unstoppable. This is not the time to retreat. It is the time to advance, to wake up, to rise, to speak, to shine. The assignment is now. The reward is real. The King is watching. And heaven is ready to move through the lives of those who say, yes, you are not here by mistake. Not in this hour. Not in this generation. You are here because God chose you. And now He is calling you to rise, to stand, to speak, to burn. This is your appointed time. Do not delay. Do not waver. The hour is short. The trumpet is sounding. You were born for this.